What's going on, people? Jaye here, back with another video. Shout out to everybody that is tuning in. I want to talk about this female, Skye, from the show Black Ink Crew. Now, I've only seen the first and some of the second season of this particular show. She's a bit of an eccentric character. I believe those situations where she was trying to fight some female, I believe, on the show. Then, a couple years later, she meets her, She reunites with her sons that she gave up for adoption when she was young. That situation seems like a dysfunctional mess. And here we are now with this video she posted on Instagram that I thought was highly inappropriate. One, because she insinuated that because men weren't approaching her, that they're gay, that they have no interest in women, that because they're grouped up in the club and they're not approaching you, that somehow something is wrong with them. But in the same, while on this tirade, she had to stop herself and say how much she loves the alternative alphabet community, which people have to do now because, you can't insult certain people. There's just certain groups you just can't say nothing about. In no way, shape, or form can you criticize them or say anything about them, especially publicly if you're a public figure. But we all know that a lot of these black females, they have, or black females like Skye, they have gay friends. We all know this. They emulate a lot of the styles or their speak certain words. Popularized as Tamar. And I'm looking at this video in the comments and it baffles my mind that because men aren't approaching you and being thirsty, as y'all would call those guys, that somehow means that they don't like women. Because for years, especially in a lot of clubs that have a lot of black dudes, they're going to be, off to the side. They're going to be standing near the wall. They're not going to be on the dance floor like that. Not all of them. I'm pretty sure you go to clubs, there are brothers on the dance floor. But I just find it interesting how these females are so quick to question a guy's sexuality because he's not interested. If y'all want to see the particular video, the full video, go in the description box and go to my other channel. You will see the video in its entirety. Okay. But I'm doing commentary because she's having this meltdown because nobody's approaching her in these clubs. She's going to these clubs. She has on the shortest, tightest dress she can wear. She got the long blonde fake hair flowing, and she's expecting these guys to approach her, and they're not approaching her. Now, looking at her location, it says that she was in Atlanta. So was she at a club where the mostly straight people frequent? Were you at a gay club? That plays a part into it too. Maybe you was at a club, you didn't really know the type of people that go to those clubs. But if that's not the case, why is it that you have these black females so quick to question a man's sexuality because he doesn't show any romantic interest in her? Maybe those guys aren't interested. Maybe they don't know how to approach. Maybe these dudes don't know how to approach women. Maybe they have approached women in the clubs and they got shot down. Those females weren't interested. That happens. There are women who aren't interested in certain guys. But when these women, let me tell y'all something, man. The majority of the people nowadays that are in clubs are women. There's a lot of women who are going to clubs. Men just don't go to clubs like that. Clubs used to be a place where you can go socially to meet up with people because there weren't social media. So the only way that you can really go out and flirt with girls and get to, get to know them is at clubs. Or if you were out and about socially at a store or maybe at the gym or something like that. But you would work all week just so you can go to the club that weekend. And now I think women are seeing the destructive nature of feminism and the Me Too movement. Okay, all these movements about, like with the holla back campaign that they had with the female walking the streets and she was getting approached by men. Men are seeing more and more that women are weaponizing approach, because women want to be able to pick and choose the type of men that approach them. We all know this. Male or female, you cannot deny that that women are very picky about the men they want to approach them. They don't want just anybody approaching them. You know how many stories I've heard from women when they've talked about dudes they have zero interest in approaching them and how they felt about that? Come on, man. Those guys are just a part of what's going on in society. They are being conditioned more and more to not approach women. And you got women now complaining about it, but they weren't complaining about it when they were siding with these, these campaigns that were punishing men for approaching them, making men look thirsty and weak and simpish. We have to look at that. You can't be a part of the social conditioning talking about how men are thirsty and how, this, that, and third, but then you expect those same men to then approach you at the club. Why? Because you're all dolled up. So I just want to know from a lot of these females, do you really have an issue with men approaching you? Or do you have an issue with men who you don't like approaching you? Because that's how it would seem. Because with this female, Skye, it just seems to me that I believe she was getting approached, but it wasn't by the guys that she wanted. I highly doubt if she's in the club showing a lot of skin. Because let me tell y'all about this chick, Skye, okay? I'm not going to sit here and go in on her looks, but she has a ton of tattoos everywhere. Now, I have no issue with a female having well-placed tattoos, okay? But she has them everywhere. And some guys may not find that attractive either. Those guys, if they're in a club that's high-end, that has a lot of, well-known people, those guys probably got some bread. And they don't have to just go up to any female. Now, she also mentioned in the video how, the reason why some of those guys may not be approaching her is because they could be married. She's saying that even if they are married, she still think they should approach her. Basically, they should have fun. So you want to be on the dance floor dancing with a married man or getting approached by a married man. And then she says at the end of the night, they still want to sleep with her, which means that they did not go and show her any attention. They didn't show her any, they didn't show her any sexual attention, but at the end of the night, they were showing her all types of sexual attention. So once again, females like this particular female, she wants to control the atmosphere. I'm sorry, ladies, you can't control the atmosphere. You cannot control a man's behaviors. Men are being conditioned every single day to not approach women. You have to look yourselves in the mirror for that. Because you cannot tell men that it's problematic to approach a woman who's walking or who is what do they call it when you sort of like catcall, when you catcall a woman, right? I just believe that this is going to become more and more of the norm. You're going to have more and more men not approach women. If they do approach women, it's going to be on social media. It's not going to be at the club. It's not going to be at the grocery store. Okay. And women are starting to see that. This is why you're seeing women dress thottier and thottier when they go out. They could be going to church. They could be going, just to make a store run. Look how they're dressed. Because they're not getting the attention that they used to. Now they have to dress extra slurry in order to overcompensate for the attention they don't normally get when they're normally dressed. They're not even getting attention from dudes at work. And they want to question the sexuality of these guys because these guys are being careful. Okay? These guys don't want to be looked upon as being lame, as being thirsty, because we all know that people are quick to pull their cell phones out and record something, or to be put on blast for no reason at all. And then you had the situation with Jasmine Elin and you know, her situation in the club. Do you think a dude, after seeing that situation unfold, the guy danced with the female, he may or may not have assaulted her? Do you really think that these dudes want to put themselves in that situation? No, they don't. So they're keeping their distance. They're going to see if you're going to approach them. Okay? So if you would rather a man approach you, you have to make yourself approachable. Maybe you just weren't the type that these guys like. Maybe these guys have different tastes in women. Maybe they are in a relationship and they're not about to risk it all for a female who's tatted up from head to toe, who seems dysfunctional. They probably know who you are, and they're like, man, I'm not approaching that. Absolutely not.